Om Bhadram Karneebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaistushtumagum sastanubhihi Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Swasti na indro vruddhashravah Swasti na pusha vishwavedah Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Page number 31, Karika number 26. Chittam na samsprushatyartham Narthabhasam tathaiva cha Abhuto hi yatascharthah Narthabhasastatah pruthak There are different systems of philosophies. They talk about creation, God, consciousness. Different systems present their opinions differently. In Indian system of philosophy, there are 12 darshanams apart from the Western system of philosophies. Entire universe, there are many philosophers, Western philosophers as well as Indian philosophers. We are not discussing about Western philosophers. We are trying to understand about Indian philosophers. Among those Indian philosophers, there are 12 systems of doctrines or philosophies. Among those 12 doctrines are 12 systems of philosophies. 6 are come under Astika Darshanams, 6 come under Nastika Darshanams. Sankhya, Nyaya, Yoga, Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa comes under Astika Darshanams. The one who accepts the Veda Pramanam, they are called Astika Darshanams. Sankhya, Nyaya, Yoga, Vaisheshika and Purva Mimamsa. Until now, up to 24th Karika, Gaudapadacharya has discussed. With the 23rd itself, he has completed that portion. That Astika Darshanams, he has negated. Gaudapadacharya comes under Purva Mimamsa. So, Astika Darshanams, Sankhya, Nyaya, Yoga, Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa. They are all Dvaita philosophers, Visishtadvaita philosophers, and they have different concepts about creation, God. They are not arriving at Advaita philosophy. Except Uttara Mimamsa, that means we, the Vedantic students, other than Vedantins, all of them come under duality only. So with the 23rd Karika, having completed that, from 24th Karika, Gaudapadacharya talking about Nastika Darshanams. 24, 25, 26 and 27, he is negating that Hinayana, Mahayana, Buddhists, Charvaka and Jaina also comes under Nastika Darshanams. Charvaka is one whose speech is very, very influencing the people, the present modern world. Charvakas talks about only the body is final. He never accepts subtle body. He never accepts causal body. He never accepts this punyam, papam, a subtle body traveling to Swarga. In his opinion, there is no Swarga at all. There is no punyam, there is no papam, there is no question of traveling. There is no Karana Shariram also. What about Atman? Then he asks, who saw Atma? There is no Atma also, he says. So this is the Charvakas, Nastika Darshanam. One Nastika Darshanam, Charvaka. Then comes Jaina philosopher, Jainism. According to Jainism also, Charvaka never accept Veda as Pramana. And Jainism, in Jaina philosophy also, they never accept Veda Pramanam. Jaina philosophers says, Guru alone is ultimate. Even they never accept God. According to Jains, there is no God other than their Guru. Arihant, they say. That Guru is only the God. There is no other God. So Charvaka and Jaina. And four more Nastika Darshanams are four streams of Buddhism. Buddha is one, but his followers are four streams and four paramparas. Buddha followers are four types. Among those four types, we can divide them into two groups, Hinayana Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. Hinayana Buddhism are those people who accept the subject and objective universe. Subject is there and objective universe also is there, they accept. In Hinayana Buddhism itself, there are two types. Again, how many difference of opinions you see people. In Hinayana Buddhism, two types, Sautrantika and Vaibhashika. What is the difference between the Sautrantika and Vaibhashika? Even though both are Buddhists, both are come under Hinayana Buddhism, inferior path and artham. Sautrantika system of philosophers says the subject is real, the objective world, what we are experiencing is perception is pratyaksham. It is a direct perception. It is a direct perception. I am seeing directly the universe. So Sautrantika says. And Vaibhashika also accepts subjective, I the subject, experiencer, he accepts. And the experienced objective universe also he accepts. But what is the difference between the previous Sautrantika and this Vaibhashika? Vaibhashika Buddhist says, the perception what you are seeing is not pratyaksham, it is only anumanam, I infer. Objective universe, I infer. When you see the flower, it is not direct perception because this perception is in the mind. Therefore, I infer. This is the difference between Sautrantika and Vaibhashika. And come to Mahayana Buddhism, there are also two types again, Yogachara and Madhyamika. Yogachara and Madhyamika. Yogachara Buddhists, that means Yogachara and Madhyamika comes under Mahayana. What is the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana? Hinayana Buddhists, they agree with the subject, experiencer and objective universe, experienced world. Whereas Mahayana Buddhists, they never accept objective universe. They never accept objective universe. They accept only the subject. They accept only the subject. Both Mahayana Buddhists. This is the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana. Hinayana accepts this subject and object universe. Mahayana Buddhists only accept subject, not the object. There is no object other than the subject consciousness. The subject consciousness alone is real. There is no separate objective universe other than this consciousness, the subject experiencer. This is the difference between Hinayana Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. Again, in this Mahayana Buddhism, Yogachara and Madhyamika, again there is a difference. Now, this Mahayana Buddhists, we take the support of Mahayana Buddhists and Hinayana Buddhists and we negate the Sautrantika and Vaibhashika. In 24th shloka, Karika onwards, here, with the help of Mahayana Buddhism, Gaudapada refutes. We need not refute the Hinayana Buddhism. We need not refute the Hinayana, Sautrantika, Vaibhashika, Mahayana Buddhist himself refutes. Therefore, Gaudapada Acharya walk along with Mahayana Buddhists for some time, up to negation. Having negated Hinayana Buddhists, then he come to attack Mahayana Buddhist. That's later. So in 24, 25, 26, 27, as the Mahayana Buddhist is refuting the Hinayana Buddhist. What he says, there is no external world other than consciousness. We also agree with that. We also agree with Mahayana Buddhist. We are very close to Yogachara Buddhism. This Yogachara Buddhism alone is known as Kshanika Vijnana Vada. Kshanika Vijnana Vada. We are also very close to that because we never accept Nama Rupa Prapancha. This is all Mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Objective world is not real. It is unreal. We also say the same thing. Buddhists also say the same thing. And Buddhist lo kuda which type of Buddhist anna Yogachara Buddhist. That's why many people say Gaudapada Acharya and Shankaracharya are Prachanna Bauddhas. They are all Prachanna Bauddhas. Even Shankara also talking Buddhism only, they say. Because they won't accept objective world. We are also not accepting the objective world. Objective world we are not accepting means what? It is vyavaharically real, experientially real. But on inquiry, really speaking, it is not there. Factually it is not there, but experientially there. Like your dream. Experientially dream is real. You cannot say dream is not there. Why? Because you are experiencing. When you are experiencing, how can you say dream is not there? So dream is there, but not real. Like that only Vedantins and Yogachara people also says, objective world is not there really, experientially there, but I the experiencer is the reality. So therefore, Mahayana Buddhists, Gaudapada Acharya joins with them and argues with Hinayana Buddhist in this 24th and 20 up to 27th. We have completed 24, 25. Now 26 we were seeing in the last class. What Gaudapada Acharya says, that means Yogachara Buddhist says, Chittam samsprishati na artham. Artham means the object. Bahya padarthaha. One more word I have used in the last class, that is Bahyarthavadinaha. Bahyarthavadi means the one who accepts that objective universe. Hinayana Buddhists are called Bahyarthavadis. So we are not Bahyarthavadis. So here Artha means object in Artham. Chitta means Chaitanyam, the consciousness. Vijnanam. According to Yogacara language, Chitta means Chaitanyam, consciousness. Vijnanam, word he uses. To that Vijnanam, we use the word Chaitanyam Brahman. Consciousness. Consciousness contacts neither a real object nor tatha arthabhasam na samsprishati. You have to supply. Nor an apparent object, the consciousness touch or contacts. This consciousness, the subject experiencer, never contact within real object or unreal object. It never touch contact with real object. Suppose he asks, can it contact an unreal object? In dream, can you touch that dream objects? Dream objects are unreal. Can you touch those dream objects? You cannot touch because they are unreal, apparent. So apparent mithya padartha also cannot be contacted by this chittam. Yataha, because iti chet, if it is so, if you ask, arthaha abhutaha na arthabhasaha pruthak tataha. If you say the chittam is contacting the real object or unreal object, I say there is no object other than consciousness. Pruthak tataha. Tataha means other than Chaitanyam. Chaitanyat pruthak or chittat pruthak. Tataha means separate from the consciousness. Separate from that consciousness which is the subject. Here consciousness comes under the subject. Arthabhasaha na abhutaha. Arthabhasaha means an apparent object. Artha means object. Abhasaha na unreal. Unreal object. An apparent object. Can clay touch the pot? Can clay touch the pot? Because pot doesn't exist separate from the clay. Therefore, pot cannot touch the clay or clay cannot touch the pot. ரெண்டு இருந்தா தானே டச் பண்ண முடியும். To touch, there must be two things. No? Clay and pot, two things must be there to touch. Oh, clay can go slowly touch the pot. But there are no two things, therefore they cannot touch each other. There is no question of touching, contacting. Similarly, he says, Arthabhasaha abhutaha. Arthaha abhutaha means object is not there, separate object, real object also is not there, non-existent. Abhutaha means non-existent. Like what? You have to supply. Swapna padarthavat abhutaha. How many objects you have touched in your dream in the night? You got the dream. You saw so many objects in your dream. Have you touched any object in the dream? Never. Like that. Swapna padarthavat abhutaha. Arthabhasaha. There are no apparent objects also. Apparent means unreal. Pot is not there. Pot is there, only clay can contact. When pot is not there, how can you say so? When you are holding the pot in your hand, pot is not there. How dare enough you are telling like that? Idu puriyumilliyo? Is there a pot? Is there pot other than clay? There is no pot. Then what is there? Clay alone is in the form of pot. There is no separate pot distinctly. Then pot is what? Pot is nothing but a word. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam mrittika ityeva satyam. It is only verbal usage. Pot is a verbal usage. There is no real pot. Verbal usage also we negate later. First we say it's a vacharambhanam, it is a word. It is a name. It is a form given to the clay. Name and form given to the clay. Substratum is clay. So there is no pot. This is the fact. Even though you are using the pot, you cannot say there is a pot. There is clay only in the form of pot. In the name of pot, in the form of pot. Then what about the word? That word is also not real. The pot word is also not real. Why? Because pot is unreal. The word is also unreal. So like that, abhutaha. Every padartha is abhutaha. Flower. There is no flower really speaking. All petals put together flower. Is there a flower other than petals? Is there a desk other than wood? Like that you go on analyzing every object, every name. Finally, what remains? Nothing but existence. This is very, very subtle concept. Atoms, molecules, particles, it goes like that. Particle is, molecule is. That easiness only you stand by. Finally you rest upon the easiness. Is nothing but, according to scientists, nothing but energy in motion. Matter is nothing but energy in motion. Energy is nothing but matter in commotion. It's not in motion. It is not in motion. So manifested energy is matter, unmanifested matter is energy. That energy alone is, they say, protons, neutrons, atoms, molecules, all is this. Finally, where you rest upon an easiness. That easiness alone is consciousness. So therefore, where is this object, world? So he negates. Up to here we saw in the last class. Okay, now we'll read 27th Karika. Nimittam na sada chittam samsprushyatyadvasursrishu animitto viparyasah katham tasya bhavishyati. Gaudapadacharya continuing his refutation. Gaudapadacharya means along with Mahayana Buddhists, that is Yogachara and Madhyamika. After seeing this, again we have to refute Yogachara and Madhyamika. What they say, he is going to refute, Gaudapadacharya. Now, from 27th he concludes, Yogacharya refutation is over with this sloka. What finally he says, Chittam na samsprushati nimittam sada trishuchu advasun. Chittam, the consciousness. Here a possible doubt. 24, 25, 26, when the Mahayana Buddhist is refuting the Hinayana Buddhist, that is Sautrantika Vaibhashika Buddhists, they pose a question. They may raise a question. What is that question? Possible question. If there is no external world, real object or unreal object also is not there, how one can get this wrong cognition, right cognition? Right knowledge and wrong knowledge. People are getting, no? All people are getting what? This is right, this is wrong knowledge we are getting every day. Getting or not? This is good, this is bad, this object is right, this object is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. We are getting that knowledge. All of us are getting. If there is no external universe at all, other than consciousness, there is only subject, there is no object at all. how can you account for this right cognition, wrong cognition, or right knowledge or wrong knowledge? People are getting that. How you answer to those people? If you ask like that, I'll give answer. Our Gaudapadacharya gives. To whom? For Hinayana. Hinayana Buddhist, if he asks, suppose, when that world is not there, how people are getting that right cognition, wrong cognition, how you answer for that? For that he says, Chittam, the consciousness does not contact, na samsprushati, an external object, when sada trishu advasu, in all the 3 periods of time. In all the 3 periods of time, the consciousness never contact the external object. He is very firm. Gaudapadacharya Mahayana Buddhist. Gaudapadacharya is not Buddhist. Gaudapadacharya and Mahayana Buddhist both are telling to Hinayana Buddhist. Very firm. There is no external object other than consciousness. Consciousness can never contact the external object. Irundadane contact pandradake. I am very clear. He emphasizing here again. In all the 3 periods of time, at any period of time, we are not touching. Either in Advasun avasthas, 3 avasthas, Trishu, 3 avasthas. What are they? How many avasthas we have got? 3 or 30? Only 3. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Waking, dream and sleep state. 3 states. In these 3 states also, consciousness is not contacting that external objects because they are not there either in Jagrata Avastha or in Swapna Avastha or in Sushupti Avastha. Trishu Advasu. Advasu na Dhamasu. Dhamasu also same. Advasu also same. When and Sada, all the time. At any period of time, at any state, consciousness can never touch. Why it cannot touch? Order of reality is different. That's all. Order of reality is different. Not only that, tasya katham viparyasaha bhavishyati animittaha. If you ask this error, how this error happens in the consciousness, wrong cognition, the error, how can tasya bhavishyati means that consciousness have, tasya means on the part of the observer consciousness, on the part of observer consciousness. Katham, how can, viparyasaha, erroneous perception, an error, or viparyasaha means erroneous perception, wrong cognition, animittaha, without an external object. What is the question? How can the right cognition or wrong cognition can take place if you ask? Where is the question of erroneous and wrong perception when there is no object at all? First, when I accept the object only, wrong cognition or right cognition. So, object illiye. Where is the question of perception? Where is the question of wrong and right? Right and wrong question ille. There is no object at all. It says animittaha. Animittaha means when there is no object outside. Yogachara refuting the Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. Bahyarthavadis. So Yogachara says there is no right knowledge or wrong knowledge division at all. Animittaha means without an external object, how that right knowledge or wrong knowledge is possible. There is no such division at all because the whole external reality itself is wrong. The whole external reality, what you are giving reality to the external world itself is wrong. Where is the question of wrong and right, wrong concept, cognition? See, it's like when you see in the dream, you have seen that rope and snake both in the dream. In the dream, you saw a rope and snake, rope snake. Which one is real? Snake is real or rope is real in the dream? It's a very, very subtle point. Try to understand. Which one is real? In dream, we saw a rope snake. In dream, we saw a rope snake. Snake is real or rope is real? But 1.5 months it is sleeping, This is sleeping. My snake is sleeping. Okay. Which is in sleep, you have got a dream. In the dream, you saw a rope snake. Tell me, snake is real or rope is real? I am confusing you. Snake is unreal, Swamini, because there is no snake at all. Rope one is there. Therefore, rope is real, can you say in dream? You saw rope in the dream. So, rope is also unreal. Unreal means what? Rope is not there really. Adhe madri, in the external world also, Vyavaharika Jagat also, the right and wrong, when you can discuss, just as both of them are unreal in the dream, here also, whatever you are seeing right and wrong, the wrong is also unreal, right is also unreal. Idida kashtam. Idi accept pandrathu kashtam. If you are able to accept, you need not come to Mandukyopanishad class. You are a Gnani. So, to understand that, to get that knowledge only, we are studying Mandukyopanishad. Very easily we can say dream is unreal. But it is difficult to say the Jagrat world is also unreal. Why? Dream is dream is unreal, and when can you say? In dream, can you say that? Only one condition, under only one condition you can say the dream is unreal. When? Only after waking to your waking state. In dream you cannot say dream is unreal. Similarly, waking world, objective universe, entire this universe, objective world, experienced objects are all unreal. They are all only name and form. They are mithya. Eppo solla mudiyum. When can you say boldly? You have to wake up once again. From dream you have woken up. Now from waking you have to wake up. From waking you have to wake up. From sleeping you can wake up. From waking, how can you wake up? Here, wake up means wake up to your real nature, that is Atma Swarupam. You are not this Vishwa. You are Turiya Atma. First two padas are Karya padas. Karana pada is also Mithya. Karya Karana Vilakshana Turiya Atma Aham Brahma Asmi is the Satyam. When I recognize and wake up to that Swarupam, I can say this is unreal world. But it is experientially real or not? The world, what am I experiencing, is real or not? Experientially real, tangibly real. From Paramarthika angle, absolute standpoint, it is unreal. So world is there or not, if anybody asks what you say, you should not answer immediately. From what standpoint you have to ask? World is unreal from Paramarthika standpoint. World is not unreal otherwise. Clear? Don't say world is unreal and half even எல்லார்கிட்ட போய் சொல்லக்கூடாது. A person who can recognize that Atma Tattvam, there is the consciousness, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the one who is trying to understand, such a person only can accept. Not all people. That's why just as dream is experientially real but factually unreal, similarly this waking world experientially real but factually unreal from the standpoint of Atma. That is what Yamadharmaraja said to Nachiketa, Uttishtata Jagrata. Wake up from your ignorance, come to your real state. Therefore, there is no question of wrong knowledge, right knowledge, wrong perception, right perception. Or perception பண்றதுக்கு ஒரு பொருள் இருந்தாதானே. அதனால there is no விபர்யாசஹ ந பவிஷ்யதி அனிமித்தஹ. விபர்யாசஹ அனிமித்தஹ ந பவிஷ்யதி. அனிமித்தஹ தஸ்ய பவிஷ்யதி கதம். Animitta means without any external object, how a wrong, erroneous perception is possible. Next, Karika. So, with this, what topic we are completing in Hinayana Buddhism, negation is over. Now, what is the final champion? Mahayana Buddhist is standing. Gaudapadacharya is going to giving the summarization of our Siddhanta, refuting Kshanika Vijnanavadi, that is Yogachara. Tasman na jayate chittam, chitta drishyam na jayate, tasya pashyanti ye jatim, Khevai pashyanti te padam. From here, we are going to refute the final Mahayana Buddhist Shunyavadam. That Madhyamika is going to be Shunyavadi. As later we will see. Now, just I'll give that brief idea about this Yogachara and Madhyamika Buddhist also. Avan patti kuda therinjittu mudichittanna chapter is closed. So Yogachara Buddhist is one who accepts consciousness, but his consciousness is a momentary consciousness. So what is the difference between Yogachara Buddhist and Vedanti Advaitin? He is also telling the external world is mithya, consciousness alone is satyam. Namma kuda adhe sollindirkom. Appo namma kuda Buddhist dane. What is the difference between us and that Yogachara Buddhist? According to Yogachara Buddhist, this consciousness is not nityam. That's why we are not Buddhists. Understand? We are Advaitins. We are different from Nastikavadams. They never accept Veda Pramanam. Buddhists also never accept Veda Pramanam. That's why they are Nastikas. Among these Nastikas also, this Buddhist Vijnanavadi or Yogachara is also very close to Vedantin, Advaitin. At one point we differ. According to him, that consciousness is momentary, kshanikam. It is a momentary. Consciousness is, what about consciousness? Your consciousness, tell me, is it eternal or temporary? If you ask, he says it is temporary. Yesterday we saw in Bhagavad Gita, what is the first feature of consciousness? Nityaha, eternal. But what is this Yogachara Vijnanavadi, Kshanika Vijnanavadi? Avanake adukku peru da Kshanika Vijnanavadi. And the Vijnanavan enartham, what is he is taking that Kshanikam, he is taking the every thought, vritti, that which arise and disappear, he is taking that vritti as consciousness. Contemplate pannanam. Otherwise, many people think there is no difference for Buddhism and Advaita philosophy, they say. And almost same, Prapancham mithya, Brahma satyam, avana adhe solran, namam adhe solran. But where we differ in that what Brahman he says, our consciousness is a temporary, momentary, kshanikam. But what we say, it is nityam, eternal. And that is why he is called as kshanika vijnanavadi. So Gaudapadacharya refutes him. By Shastra Pramanam, Yukti Pramanam, he refutes the kshanika vijnanavadi. Atma can never be kshanikam. It is nityam. Satyam jnanam anantam. It is nityam. Na jayate, na mriyate. Va vipaschit. Nayam babhuva. In Kathopanishad we saw, yesterday also we saw in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. So consciousness never born. But according to Vijnanavadi, it is born and it is gone. Born and gone, born and gone. 1140 consciousness is born. 1141 kuda ahale. Consciousness gone, dead. Again new consciousness. What is that consciousness? What he is talking actually? Try to understand. And the kshanikam avan solrane. Kshanika vijnanavanna consciousness is momentary inner. How he arrived at that concept na very interesting. See, consciousness plus clip thought, clip knowledge. Consciousness plus flower knowledge. Consciousness plus mic knowledge. So consciousness plus vritti, clip vritti, pushpa vritti, mic vritti, that is changing. That objective vritti which connects to that, it is changing. That changing knowledge he has taken as consciousness. Paring enna mistake பண்ணிட்டான் தெரியுமா? இது படிக்கணும்னா புத்திசம் மொத்தம் படிக்கணும், அப்பதான் புரியும். வேர் ஹி இஸ் கோயிங் ராங்னு நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். அந்த விருத்திங்கிறது டெம்பரரி, விருத்தி இஸ் மொமெண்டரி. எவ்ரி ஆப்ஜெக்டிவ் நாலேஜ் இஸ் சேஞ்சிங். I am conscious of, consciousness is same. What I am conscious of changing. I am conscious of my bag. I am conscious of bag pochi. அப்புறம் என்ன வந்தது? Book. After book, pen. After pen, chair. Again, every object is changing continuously. How many thoughts we are getting? How many objects we are seeing? How many they are coming? Moment ஒரு thought is coming. Every moment thoughts are changing. That changing thought is not consciousness. Consciousness never change, that is same. But in the consciousness plus object, that vritti is changing. And the vritti avan enna solran? Avan da consciousness nu solran. How can vritti be consciousness? Vritti enna thought. So now you are seeing this flower. When I show this flower, immediately you see the flower. You are conscious of this flower. Are you aware of this flower? Yes. You are aware of this flower. You are conscious of this flower. Now I show the clip. Tell me, you are conscious of this clip or not? What about flower? Gone. Now you are conscious of clip. Now you are conscious of this watch. What about clip? Gone. You are conscious of this box, cassette box. What about watch? Gone. But consciousness? Same. The consciousness is same. In the flower also it is same. In the clip also it is same. In that when you got the knowledge of watch is also same. And that cassette box when you are seeing, consciousness is same. But these four are different. Rendu kai da irukku and naan pudichirukka. The naal is changing. Idu oru moment, idu oru moment, idu oru moment, idu oru moment. Consciousness is momentary. It's not momentary. So, not knowing that substratum, unchanging consciousness He is taking the vritti, the changing objects, that consciousness he is taking and telling that consciousness is momentary. Vritti jnanam, taking it as momentary and taking it as consciousness and superimposing the temporary momentariness of that object vritti, he is superimposing upon ever non-changing consciousness. Adida mistake. Idida kshanika vijnanavadi. Madhyamika means Mahayana Buddhist Madhyamika enna solranna, the subject objective world rendu perume sonna objective world illani. இந்த மாத்தியமிக பர்சனுக்கு இவனுக்கு என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ் தெரியுமோ? இந்த யோகாச்சாரா, இந்த யோகாச்சாரனுக்கு இந்த மாத்தியமிகாக்கு என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ்ன்னா, இவன் சப்ஜெக்ட் இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா இல்லை ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னான். இவனு கூட ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னான் மாத்தியமிக. ஆனாலும் சப்ஜெக்ட் கூட இல்லைன்னு சொன்னான். இவன் இன்னும் ரூத்லெஸ், முதலுக்கே மோசம். என்ன சப்ஜெக்டே கிடையாதப்பான்னா, என்ன இருக்கப்பான்னா சூன்யம்னா, வாய்ட், எம்டினஸ். அதுக்கே அவனுக்கு சூன்யவாதின்னு பேரு. மாத்தியமிக புத்திஸ்டுக்கு சூன்யவாதின்னு பேரு. ஏன் சூன்யவாதத்துக்கு வந்துட்டான்? இப்படி யோகாச்சாரன் புரிஞ்சது இல்லையோ விஜயானம். அவன் ஏன் வை ஹி கேம் டு க்ஷணிக விஜயானவாதம் புரிஞ்சது இல்லையா? நம்ம we are not kshanika vijnanavadis, we are nitya atmavadis. Why this person madhyamika Buddhist says it is shunyamana? This yogachara rely upon dream. He negated the external objects. Okay, he taken the dream example. Relying upon the dream example, he has established his philosophy. And the kshanika vanchonadnala we have refuted. In the Madhyamika philosopher relying upon the sleep example, how he arrived at Shunyavada? What makes him to come to that voidness, emptiness? Everything is Shunyam and Cholra. Why he is talking like that? By taking the sleep example. How? He says, in the sleep, I don't experience anything. In sleep, are you having flower thought? Are you having clip thought? Are you having watch thought? Are you having man thought, woman thought? Are you having any thought in sleep? No thought. Then who is there? Nothing is there in dream. Na kinchit avedesham. Enak onnume theriyadu. Enna solrom? After waking up, what do you say? Na kinchit avedesham. Nethu nanna thungite. அப்புறம் ஒன்றுமே தெரியல. ஒன்றுமே தெரியலன்னா ஒன்றுமே இல்லை என்ன அர்த்தம்? என்ன இருந்தது நேற்று தூக்கத்துலன்னா ஒன்றுமே இல்லைப்பா. That is what he has taken that. Since in sleep nothing is there, really speaking, subject is also not there. Therefore what? Shunyam. Shunyam எப்படி? How can you say? நன்ன தூக்கத்துல ஒன்றுமே இல்லையே. In deep sleep, nothing is there. Therefore, I am arriving at what? Shunyam, emptiness, voidness. That is his concept, his view. Madhyamika Buddhist. Namma enna solrom? What we say? In sleep also consciousness is there. It is not Shunyam. Na kinchid avedesham. And who knows? Consciousness registers. I don't know anything. I am conscious of that. I don't know anything. So consciousness is there. That's why Advaita philosophy is the pinnacle. No one can stand in front of Advaita philosophy. That's why the intelligent person யாராவது இருந்தா உலகத்தில் யாரை சொல்லுங்க, நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க. ஓன்லி ஞானி, அத்வைத ஞானி மாத்திரம்தான் அவனுக்கு தான் மூளை இருக்கு. எல்லாருக்கும் என்ன இருக்குன்னா இருக்க மூளை புத்தி இருக்கு. ஆனாலும் அது இருந்து ஒண்ணுதான், இல்லாதாலும் ஒண்ணுதான். இட்ஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட். இன் தட்சிணாமூர்த்தி ஸ்தோத்திரம் ஆல்சோ we saw this. Therefore, Kshanika Vijnanavadi we have to refute. How you have to refute? He asks, Gaudapadacharya is asking now, you are talking about momentary consciousness. Who is that talking about that momentary consciousness? Tell me. To talk about the momentary consciousness, you must be consciousness. And that means that is consciousness 1, you are consciousness 2. First momentary consciousness is known by second momentary consciousness. That means both can simultaneously exist. If they simultaneously exist, it must be existing in second moment. Argument. He is going to refute Kshanika Vijnanavadi by Shastra Pramanam and Yukti Pramanam. How? Look into this Karika. Just I have given the background. Okay. இல்லைன்னா நீங்கள் எல்லாம் படிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம கூட யோகாச்சார புத்திஸ்ட் மாதிரி உட்காரக்கூடாது. அதுக்கு தான் பயம். ஒரு வாரம் நீங்கள் டைம் கொடுத்துட்டான்னா நீங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு போய் நான் புத்திஸ்ட் தான் சொல்லிட்டான், நான் என்ன பண்ணுறது அப்போ? அதனால என்ன பயம். அதனால முன்னாடி சொல்லி வச்சுட்டேன், நம்ம க்ஷணிக விஞ்ஞானவாதி இல்லை, சூன்யவாதி மாத்தியமிக புத்திஸ்ட் இல்லை. We should know that. That's why we go very close to them, but we should know the subtle difference. Otherwise, we also will be trapped in that same groove. Tasmat Vijnanavada Prakarat anartham. Therefore, Gaudapadacharya is giving thoughts in the mind are momentary kshanikam. Consciousness is illumining the flow of momentary thought. நான் சொன்னதுக்கு சாராம்சம் என்னென்ன? Thoughts arising in the mind are momentary. Thoughts arising in the mind are momentary. But the flow of consciousness is not momentary. Consciousness illumines the flow of that thought. Every cognition. Chitta drishyam, an object of consciousness, is not born. An object of consciousness, chitta drishyam, the object of consciousness means now the flower is object. I am conscious of this flower. This chitta drishyam, object of consciousness. That consciousness which is seeing the object is born or not born? I am conscious of is not born really. That consciousness is born. What is born? Pushpa Jnanam is born. When I show the pushpam, it is born. That chitta drishyam na jayate. That consciousness is not born. Drishyam is born. Druk is not born. Druk and consciousness. Seer is not born. Seen is born. Object is born. Seer is not born. Chitta drishyam, the object of consciousness, the consciousness that which is illumining the flow of the momentary thought without being itself momentary. Artham. Without being itself momentary, watching the all momentary consciousnesses. இதெல்லாமே RC, reflected consciousness. I'm conscious of. What you are conscious of varies. Who is consciousness is not varies. Na chittam jayate, nor the consciousness is born. The object of consciousness is not born. The consciousness is also not born. First one, Chaitanyam is Nityam anartham. Satyam Jnanam Avanantam. This Shruti Viruddhatvat Kshanika Vijnanavada is dismissed. Najayate, here you have to remember that Kathopanishad. Najayate Mriyateva Kadachit. Najayate word, he is reminding the Shruti. So Shruti Viruddhatvat Kshanika Vijnanavada is dismissed. Then Teye pashyanti jatim tasya vai pashyanti ke padam. He is just criticizing them. Kindle pandrar. He is mocking at them. Why? Really, who are all talking about the birth of consciousness? The consciousness is born. God created the world, we say, no? God created the world. Creation is done by the God, we say. And God alone is the cause of this creation, we say. They're all nodding the head. Really, creation is not there. For creation is there, really God has to undergo a change. Every product undergoes a change. God became the world and God has undergone a change. If God undergoes a change, God cannot exist. No? God never changed. So therefore, God created the world. Creation really is there. If you say it is contradictory. So creation is not there really. So it's very, very subtle topics. These are all. Again and again, repeatedly we have to listen. Until that we should not leave the Shastra. இல்லைன்னா அது என்னமோ பேசுகிறாங்க, நமக்கு புரியாததெல்லாம் பேசுகிறேன். மத்தியிலே many people stop Vedanta classes. What they think, they want to interpret in their own language. In their own frame of mind, they want to translate, or they want to give the meaning in that manner. Shastra says, don't come like that. You have to listen what I want to say, Shastra says. But very few people stand. Ascharyavat manushyanam sahasreshu. Ascharyo vakta. Kushaloscha labdha. Very rarely people get this knowledge. Very rarely people talk about this knowledge. Okay. K padam means the footprints of a bird are indeed seeing the birth of that consciousness. Those who are talking, really they are seeing the footprints of the bird. Can you see the footprints of the bird in the Akasha? Like that you cannot know the birth of consciousness. If you try to know the birth of consciousness, it is like trying to see the footprints of the bird. You cannot see the footprints of the bird in the Akasha. You can never know the birth of consciousness because it is not born. So Kshanika Vijnanavada is refuted in one word. See? More in the next class. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.